is a vital class to have in most situations, being able to deal massive single target damage, as well as being able to destroy multiple robots quickly if given a chance. He might not be the best at dealing with tanks since his minigun deals decreased damage towards it, but that definitely doesn't mean he's weak or not worth using. I'll be ranking all of his weapons from F to S tier. With that being said, let's begin with the F tier. The shotgun isn't really worth using unless you're wanting to play with a shotgun only playstyle, but is that really a good decision? I'll just leave that up to you to decide. The only reason anyone should be using the fists is so you can use your taunt kill on any unfortunate robot that gets hit by it. Also hitting them with your fists is kinda satisfying, not gonna lie. Honestly, you're better off using the gloves of running urgently to move faster. By the time you can hit any robot, you're most likely already way past that without any resistances, since it drains your health while you're using it, and even if you weren't, it deals horrendous damage. The only reason why you would use it is if you want to cosplay as a JoJo character. I'm sad to say that the holiday punch is quite literally useless in MvM, since you can't make robots burst out in laughter when hitting them in the back over the crit anymore. It used to work in the early days, but they removed the ability to do so a long time ago. RIP holiday punch, you will be missed.
Stop! Burning your fear, it is shame.
Let's move on to the D tier weapons. So the Natasha is primarily used for slowing down super scouts, since they can definitely be a bit too fast if your team isn't too coordinated. That's kinda the only use it has. Sure, you can maybe slow down the sentry buster, but some engineers actually prefer to blow it up themselves, so that could get annoying for them. The problem with the Natasha is that there are way better ways of slowing down super scouts. Scouts Mad Milk and Snipers Jarate can slow down robots with their minus 35% speed on target upgrade, as well as Soldier's Rocket Specialist upgrade, and even the Spy's Sapper can slow them down. But if you can't trust your team, you can just body block and use a better weapon. A slightly quote-unquote better shotgun, but should that mean that the chance of you using it should be slightly higher? Probably not. Just like the family business, it's slightly better than the stock shotgun. It's much better in very close range because it gets less accurate the more you use it. Let's move on to the C tier weapons. The 20% faster spin-up time and 20% more accuracy is definitely helpful, but it's at the cost of a 20% slower firing speed. And as we all know, firing speed is basically heavy's damage output. The slower you fire, the less damage you deal. And as a heavy, you obviously want to deal as much damage as you can, so this is definitely not an optimal minigun to use. It's still better than the Natasha though. Also, the silent spinning is useless. They're robots, they already know everything about you. The stake is best used on tanks, and tanks only. Trying to kill robots while under the effect of it will most likely end badly, since you have a plus 20% damage vulnerability while it's active. And since most of the time there are little to no robots when a tank appears, you can safely use the effect to the fullest while damaging the tank. And because of the fact that Heavy's miniguns deal less damage to tanks, this is actually a viable way of dealing damage to them. Now you might be asking, which melee weapon do I use with the combination of the stake? And to that I say, here's the answer to your question. Use the Warrior Spirit in combination with the stake. They deal plus 30% more damage, and with the mini crit of the stake, you deal even more damage. The 30% damage vulnerability downside of the Warrior Spirit won't affect you as much, since again, there most likely aren't any robots that spawn alongside the tank. The chocolate bar has very niche uses. The plus 50 max health can help you survive some heavy attacks if you don't have a medic by your side, but only if you have some sort of resistances, because without any, the increased health won't help you out at all. Let's move on to the B tier weapons. The best scenario for the Long Heater is when you have a pyro in your team.
Thank you!
Since it deals 25% more damage against burning targets. Of course you can set them on fire yourself if you get super close to them. Make sure to have plenty of resistances so you don't instantly get killed. Also make sure to upgrade ammo capacity, you'll definitely need it. The The second banana is great for more aggressive heavies that don't have a medic with them. The quick recharge rate makes it useful for when you need health quickly over time. You should treat it like a pocket medic. Whenever you need healing, it's always going to be ready for you. They're great when you manage to kill a robot with them. Having 5 seconds of crit on all of your weapons can be quite helpful. They can help you deal with giants and even uber medics if your med picker is sleeping at the moment. Let's move on to the A tier weapons. The Brass Beast offers 20% more damage, but the spin-up takes significantly longer than the stock minigun, and you move very slowly after it's deployed. Honestly, this is a good minigun to use, but I'd only recommend using it if you have a semi-competent team, because if you do need to move around a lot because your team is struggling, then the Brass Beast just isn't for you, even with the added damage bonus. Unlike the second banana, I'd use this to heal your teammates. It drops a medium health pack, unlike the small one for the banana. You can still use it for yourself, but the recharge rate is much slower. This is a perfect weapon for every time you're getting shot at by basically anything. Are there any annoying snipers focusing on you? Pull these bad boys out and deny them their kill. Same goes for heavy and soldier bots, but make sure to pull them away when fighting a melee bot, since you're going to take more damage from melee weapons. Let's move on to the S tier weapons. The stock minigun is truly the king of all miniguns. There's no damage penalty and you can actually move in a normal speed while your minigun is deployed. However, please note that buying the rage upgrade is not advised, since it makes you deal less damage, and unless the robot you're shooting at is actively deploying the bomb, it's pretty useless most of the time. Also note that the second upgrade on the firing speed doesn't work. However, the first, third and fourth upgrade work as intended. That goes for all miniguns. I'm telling you, a heavy that has an increased movement speed is something you definitely want to have. Just like any other mobility weapon, being able to quickly run to the battle or retreat quickly can be life or death, or I guess in this situation, winning or losing the wave. Just make sure to watch out for your health, because it can drain pretty quickly. And that's all of the weapons ranked.
Heavy wants this!